Alright, hey guys, so this is gonna be the third video in this series where I go over Guile's options against a variety of the cast. I might do the whole cast. I don't know. Not really sure. I'm not really sure if I can, what I can do. Like, I don't know. We'll see. But for now, I want to look at GolcarJack versus his friend Jin928. Or Gene928. But yeah, so like I don't think this answers every single Ken related scenario, but like I think Jin is the kind of player that he's the kind of Ken that's just really like he likes to just do things, you know. He's not very careful, you know, or patient, and there's a lot of Kens that play like this. So I think there's a lot of value in looking at a game like this. And so, of course, we have the very patient GolcarJack against Jin, who, as I said, he's pretty. He kind of just does things, you know. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't think so, but that's just been my impression of watching him and playing against him myself. So we're gonna see. I got a bunch of notes. This is actually probably the most notes I've done, so this might take a little bit. But let's see. So we're gonna look at all the fireball stuff first. So. This one, not the most common thing in the world, probably super not common at all, but let's take a look. This is, wow, that's loud. We're gonna fucking mute that. Holy shit. Alright, so, let's take a look. This is like a preemptive step kick, and it happened to work. They collided a fireball, he walks forward, and then it would make sense then for Ken to shoot the fireball, you know, but perhaps Jack knew that step kick beats fireball, and that's why he went for it. So it's good to know if you're expecting a fireball. So there we go. Let's look at it one more time. And boop, there we go. Now you didn't see it because it's kind of fast. If I was to slow it down, you would see that he actually was starting up the fireball. But let's move on. Let's see. Yeah, this is cool. That's good because this is definitely he knew this was gonna work. He actually does it a couple times in this fight. So let's check this out. He fires Ken fires first, which is interesting to note that this opportunity exists even with Guile firing second. Since Guile has such very, very, very fast recovery, he's able to walk forward a little bit. Ken now still charging the fireball. And he's just able to get that crouch medium kick out, just barely. This is going to be a trade, so Guile gets hurt too. Yeah, pretty wild though that he saw that this was an opportunity. Crazy. One more time. Like from there he knew that he was in range. That's pretty cool. Fucking love crouch medium kick. All right. Next up, is this like the same? I think I just did like the same scenario. Oh god, same scenario. Was it? Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Oh my god, I hate this. If you click on this, and I gotta click on that to go do that. Yeah, that was really far away, dude. Look at this. Look at that. So they both fired about the same time. And again, that's crazy to me. Crazy. That's like just to know that that was an opening. I never would have thought that was an opening. But there we go. I mean, it was a bit of a read. It's not like he knew that Ken was gonna throw a fireball, but it's a read that pays off. All right, so now we're gonna look at more fireball stuff. This is like the punishes that exist after a fireball collision. So this is like super good for Guile, right? Guile fired first. Ken just barely reacts with his own fireball. Now Guile has a lot of time. He could have probably done a bunch of stuff. He could have gone with the back fist, but he opts for the sweep. I'm not sure if there's much of a damage difference between the two. I wonder if he was in range for a step kick. That's another option we have too. No, definitely not. So, okay, this made sense then. Alright. Let's look at another one. Oh god. One day I'm gonna master this. Alright, here we go. And again with the sweep. Let's level one more time. He fires the boom first. Ken fires. Walks forward. Sweep. Alright, sick. This was at 144. Like this, I love this. This shit is so cool. Every Guile in the world lives for this. So Guile fires first, Ken barely reacts in time, and boom with the back fist. Like these are the kind of moments that just make you want to main the character, you know, because that's just so damn cool. Super satisfying. So like, yeah, if you're close enough, you shoot first. You can then punish with the back fist. If you're far away, yeah, I don't know. I guess you can still do it. Fuck, I don't know. Let's see. And lastly is the step kick. This has obviously got to be a little more close quarters for this to work. Yeah, this is super close quarters. But same thing. Guile shoots first. Ken shoots after that, just barely. And step kick. The greatest thing about step kick, of course, it's like I think it's like the same damage, or basically the same damage as back fist, but we get to keep our charge, unlike back fist. Unless you're playing old Guile. Old Guile can keep his charge after a back fist. Alright. So let's see. Now we're gonna look at punishes to the looks like mostly the Tatsu stuff. Alright. Yeah, so a lot of this is just relying on you having great reactions. Let's see. So you fire that. I mean, like, he only has so many options, right? What can he do? Oh, so, okay, we get that. Yeah. Yeah, so he reversals with the Tatsu, right? And Jack knows that that's an option that he has, so he has to be anticipating that. You know, he anticipates, but then he also reacts to it. You know, that's where our reactions come from in the first place. It's just by, you know, it's not like we're like, you know, reacting to anything. We're reacting to things that we anticipate, and that's why he's able to combat him so fast. So he reversal Tatsus, and then Jack jumps in with the jumping hard kick, jumping roundhouse, whatever you want to call it. All right. So there we go. Let's see. And another Tatsu moment. I think he was just showboating here, right? Like they're friends, so I have to, and like obviously Jack is a lot better. So he sees the Tatsu, and I don't know, he just wants to, I think he could have done what he did earlier with the jumping hard kick, like neutral jumping hard kick, probably would have been fine. Although it might have traded, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm really convinced though that was just him just trolling. I don't know. But again, we can react in the air to a Tatsu, which is pretty cool. Let's see. This you see all the time. This is like the classic. You boom, Ken Tatsu's over it. It's tricky though to punish this though, because sometimes you can't tell when it's gonna stop, right? Like you can kind of gauge it by how fast it's going. The faster it's going, the farther it's gonna go. Slower it is, the least distance it'll go. Yeah, I want to say I actually don't know, but it looks like at least medium. All right, so there we go. Crouching hard punch. If you time it right, you get him out of it. Flash kick also works. I don't know if funnily enough, I don't know if I actually put flash kick as a punish on here, but that is also something you can do too. Just don't mess it up. For whatever reason, it does seem to be easy to mess that up. Like I think he, like if you stand for a moment or something, I don't know why it doesn't work sometimes, but I swear I'll do a flash kick, or I'll mean to do a flash kick, and it fails for some inexplicable reason. Let's see. And this has happened to Mars Gotti too. I watched it recently in a set that he played at NEC, and even Atari made the comment too about that flash kick just not coming out for some reason. It's got to be like an execution error, I think. But all right, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, okay. Oh, this is cool. Like, I never would have thought of this. So if you get hit by it, it's not the end of the world. At least against Ken. Against Ken, we don't get knocked down after a Tatsu. We're still up. And we can actually punish with a jab as he's coming down. Maybe something stronger, but I'm going to assume that jab was best we can do. It's pretty quick. So actually, let's look at that one more time. Get a better look at it. Boop, and there we go. Alright, moving on. We're going to go to punishing light Shoryuken, which I have so many times failed this. Because if you ever see or play against like DP happy Ken and Ryu players, a lot of these guys will just for shits, they'll just like always Shoryu, and it gives you like the illusion that you can't do anything about it, but we can. We just gotta time it right. And there we go. Let's look at this carefully. All right. So we're beginning the crouch medium kick as he begins to fall. All right, and that's some tight timing. If we are a little too late, he can Shoryu as he lands and hit our leg, and that sucks. Really sucks. So we gotta be really, really precise. All right. Now let's look at. This is cool. I don't think I've seen this before. Boom. And I'm gonna take like this video's word, like take it at face value, and assume that this is legit. It's gotta be, because look at this. He's yeah. Whew. Get it one more time. Damn. That's crazy to me. Like, cause like you really, man, I don't know. It feels like you could whiff that so easily and get punished, but yeah, there we go. That's an option. I think we could also do a Sabat kick. That feels safer to me. Less damage, but it feels safer. But we might not. Yeah, we probably would have been in range. Either way, very strong punish. And speak of the devil, Sabat kick. And it looks like I'm going to timestamp this wrong. Hold on. Punishes. What's Sabat kick? Let's see. Oh, I think I might have like. Christ. I've done this on every video so far. Yeah, damn, that's a fast reaction. Fucking immediate. It's like he's just always ready. Boom, he probably could have backfisted there too, right? Or maybe not because, oh, sorry. Maybe not because if he did, then he'd throw the fireball instead. And that's why he did that? That's possible. Let's see. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Alright, cool. And, oh, this is also a revelation. Amazing. I did not, so he is punishing a blocked Shoryu. And it's a light Shoryu too, which makes it even more crazy to me. Now this might only work because Jack is doing a reversal. He's doing a reversal flash kick, so the very first frame that he's out of block stun, that's when he throws out the flash kick. So that is really, really good to know. Alright. What we got here? This is just some footsie standard stuff. Figured I'd throw it in though. Oh, sorry. Figured I would throw it in. Oops, I think I just already passed it. Now, you know, it's actually possible that he just didn't block. I don't know. I'm gonna assume that you actually hit him with that. But let's see. Yeah, I think it's a punish because like it doesn't look like his standard. Yeah, like that's his standard crouch. Crouch face, right? Okay. Now let's look at his face when we actually like he's still in the crouch or the sweep animation, and he gets hit. So yeah, that was a punish. All right. So we're covering a lot of ground pretty quickly. Now we're gonna do. Oh yeah, so this is like 3 examples of the exact same thing, and he does it like consistently. So this is for sure how to punish this. A lot of happy-go-lucky Ken players will just love doing these air tatsus for seemingly no reason. Like, what the fuck was that? I don't know. Bad space, and that's what that was. But yeah, they're really kind of unpredictable and they kind of come out of nowhere. But like the answer is to follow them on the ground, not get hit by their kicks, and then throw them as soon as they land. Let's back up. We see he goes to throw, but let's look at it. Yeah, like I don't know. This kind of crap. Like this is obviously not something that a good Ken player would do, right? But you're gonna run into Kens who play like this, so you might as well know how to punish it. So not just not just do this stuff and get away with it for free. That's dumb. So there we go. Throw him as soon as he lands. One more example. Right, let's do that. Boom. All right, sick. So he does this every single time. So I don't need a bunch of examples of this because it's basically we're gonna look at the exact same thing. Even though that throw thing was kind of the same thing, but whatever. Who cares? This is doesn't matter. All right, shut up. So we he does a super, we block it, or it whiffs. Either scenario is the same thing. Let's look at it. Like there's no reason to do that, right? But we should know how to punish it. He just jumps up and hits him right out of the air. Now I was asking him about this earlier, and he was saying that you should just flash kick him, like that's better. But he didn't answer me on this point. Was in my games when I've blocked a Ken super, sometimes it will be behind me and Guile won't turn around. And so if I do a flash kick, sometimes it'll just straight up whiff, and that is like the dumbest thing. So when I see Jack do that jump up and just hit him out of the air thing, let's look one more time. This is his reaction every time. He blocks it and he just jumps in the direction that Ken went and then hits him right out of the air with a hard punch. It's free damage and it's guaranteed damage. You're not going to miss it for doing a flash kick in the wrong direction. So I'm just going to go with this until I see something demonstrated that's just better. So, all right. Oh, I did put here too. It's interesting to note that he stands here, and I thought, and I wondered if maybe the reason he did that. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Fuck me. Don't listen to me. At the time, I thought the reason he stood up was because it wouldn't turn him around, which may or may not be a thing. But in this example, it actually doesn't matter. He blocks the whole thing while being crouched, so that's not important. Sorry, got the burps. All right, let's look at some of our anti-airs. So pretty cool. Like, look at this. We throw that boom, and immediately Ken jumps. Boom. So that's, I mean, this is like the super standard, right? Super standard crouching hard punch to beat that, right? And it might seem like you know, like a no-brainer, but we actually really need to land the timing, and the timing we're looking for is right before the very last moment we want to use the crouching hard punch, because if we look here, look at this shit. I'm gonna slow this down because this is like, look at this. He's like already got his hand right. It's almost right into Ken's crotch, man. Look at that. But Guile gets hit out of it, which is crazy. So, but yeah, if we look at the time where it worked, right, he must have done it the correct timing. No. It didn't look that much better, to be honest, but anyways, the rule of thumb, though, no matter what, no matter if this example works or not, is that we need to do crouching hard punch at the very last moment, and we're always going to get the trade. The trade is just what's going to happen. So, but it's a favorable trade. Now we got, okay, more anti-airs. Let's see. This is just standard, super, nothing really important, but I'll put it there anyways. He booms, he walks back. Ken jumps, misses, crouch medium kick. Nothing too fancy there. This is fancy as fuck, though. Look at this shit. I love this. This is so good. That is so fucking good. So, and like, let's talk about why this is so good, alright? So he crouch medium kicks, throws the boom. He then reacts to the immediate jump. Now, of course, he's anticipating a jump. Ken is super low on health, so he knows this has to happen, or it's really likely to happen. He might still survive a blocked boom, but either way, he jumps, right? It's one thing to like be able to react with a button. No, Jack goes a step further. He takes the time to walk forward, alright? He then has to let go of the stick, because if you hold forward and press medium kick, you're going to get the sabbat kick. So he has to actually move forward, so he's close enough to Ken, let go of the stick, and then press medium kick. Neutral medium kick. So he's not touching the stick, he's not holding charge, he's just booting him. And that's really, that's some super good spacing and just crazy good reactions. And knowing, also this isn't like a standard button. This is like the medium kick, the close medium kick. So you got to know the right range too. So he's had a lot of experience using this move for sure. And he does it multiple times. So let me, yeah, I got 3 examples of this. And it's always like right above Guile's head, super close. Like his trajectory would be like over him, but also Guile walks into him to get this kick. Let's look at this one more time. Same exact scenario, kind of, but this is actually further away, and he still does it. Booms, walks forward, lets go of the stick, and then boom. Man, that's gonna take a shit ton of practice. I will fail that a bajillion times before I get it right. But man, when I get it right, oh, it's gonna feel so good. This one you didn't have to move at all for. But you know what's interesting too, though, is that this is all. 2 of these examples have been from the crouch medium kick hit, after the pushback of a crouch medium kick. He's done, he's followed up with a boom, and then Ken has jumped up. So this is kind of like a common scenario here. Blocks the medium kick, or gets hit by the medium kick. He throws a boom, Ken jumps over the boom because he expects the boom. Guile expects the jump, walks forward, or in this case, he doesn't need to walk forward. Also notice too, Ken is going for a tatsu, and this shit beats it out. That's really encouraging because that shit's hard to deal with. So yeah, just want to make sure he did not walk forward. One more time, we're gonna look at it. No, he did a little bit. Super, super cool. Alright, we're almost at the end. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. This is a long video, man. I'm sorry. Either way, it's for me, so fuck you people. Let's see. Alright, this is our air-to-airs. He kind of reacts a little late to this, huh? Well, no, he didn't, because he jumps as soon as he can. Just kind of looked like it was, but it wasn't. So yeah, he just jumps up with a jumping hard kick. All right, yeah, jumping hard kick everywhere. Here we go. More examples of jumping hard kick. And these all seem to be from a bit of like a further range. Like this isn't close. It's usually like kind of mid-range to long range he's doing this. Motherfucker. Yep, there we go. Cool, cool. I don't think it's really worth looking at. I don't know, it's just something he does. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of guys do that. They'll like follow their fireball and go with the crouch medium kick. I think it's a little bit risky though. I know it's risky because let's see. I think it is anyways. Fuck. Part of me wants to think that a good Shoto player would be able to reversal Shoryu after that Sonic Boom. But maybe not. It might actually be like a straight up block string. Yeah, it might very well be. So if he tries to press a button, it might not work. He might get hit. Maybe that's why he does it. Alright. Alright, we done yet? Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So these are just the interesting little footnotes here. So we already looked at one, and that was the time where crouch hard punch failed, and we suspect that it was done a little too early. So, oh, and this was just an example of it working, so we don't need to look at that. Yeah, this is an example of Jack, yeah, Jack getting fucked up a little bit. So let's see what happens here. He booms, and like, you oftentimes hop forward after a boom. You know, you want to maintain your charge and move closer. But Ken jumps right at the last moment, and this puts Jack in a rough spot. He actually does try to go for the crouching fierce, but it's too late. I don't know what he could have done otherwise, but my takeaway from this is that be mindful of our hops. You know, be aware of the, you know, just be aware of it. Really, that's it. I don't know. I'm sure other guys would have something more insightful to share there, but it's just something that I noticed. Yeah, okay. I didn't like that. I don't know. I don't know. Is this the most optimal thing? I don't know. Let's see. I wonder if he could have done the walk forward standing medium kick again, you know? I bet he could have. But instead he goes back and goes with the retreating Sabat kick and gets a trade. And it's not a very good trade. So, yeah, I didn't like that very much. Alright. Yeah, so like this is I don't think this is even a debate. It's just something that me and a friend of mine were discussing like a year ago, and he's still convinced that Guile could keep up with the Shotos in a fireball war, and this is just not true. It's just not true. I know it's not true. It just eventually Guile has to either block or jump. It's a fact, you know, and like especially if you're up close, right? Guile has even less time to charge, because there's, in order for him to shoot a fireball, he needs to charge for how many, like 60 frames. He needs to charge for like 60 or 61 frames, and then you got to include the animation it takes to shoot the damn thing. And yeah, it adds up. All right, and Ken, he doesn't have to worry about a charge, so he can just shoot as soon as his fireball is not on the screen, and he's not in the fireball animation, which obviously the fireball will be gone by then. You know, usually, unless it's like a collision that's really up close. But point is, and I thought this was an example of it, of Guile losing a fireball war, which is just a natural thing. And eventually he runs out of space, he has to jump over it. I don't know. Just something I thought was worth putting on there. Maybe I'll make a post on Nuana Crew so I can finally get some closure on that silly little argument. Alright, we done. Last thing here is Ken goes for a grab after a blocked air Tatsu. Oh yeah. So this is just a common situation that I've run into a bajillion times against this guy. Actually, I played against Jin not too long ago. He kind of beat my ass. I beat him a few times. Alright, it wasn't like a total shit show, but like he definitely, I fell for a lot of his shit. And one of his things that he did was this little guy right here. He goes for the air Tatsu. Guile blocks, and he goes immediately for that grab, which is super freaking obnoxious. But it's okay. Yeah, Guile had to block here. He's got no options. So in this spot, we just got to do crouch jab, crouch jab, get him out of there. Just recognize that and go for the crouch jab. Of course, you know, Ken can adapt to that, but this is our answer to stop that. Crouch jab is how we beat it. Just to be aware of it, just be aware the situation exists. Yeah, alright. But yeah, that's all I got. I thought it was a pretty good collection of stuff, and I think it's gonna help me out. So yeah, alright, there we go. Hope you enjoyed. Alright, peace, take care.